Hey friends, today I'm going to share with you a Design With Me scrapbooking layout. I'm creating this layout directly in Cricut Design Space. This will make it a digital scrapbooking layout or modern scrapbooking layout because I am using technology to help me plan out my layout. I am creating today a pocket page layout. It's going to measure 6 by 8 inches and I'll be using a page protector that has 4 3 by 4 inch pockets in it. So what I'm doing right now is creating my title card. It's also going to have the journaling on it as well. And then the other 3 rectangles that you see on my canvas is going to be reserved for my photos. So what's with all the yays that's across the canvas in Cricut Design Space? I am continuing to document my life using About Last Month, the project that Lael Konkar has created. And I had the phrase, "Yay, it's May," in my head when I sat down to design this layout. I knew I wanted to use that as the title, but I needed to work out how that was going to look. And just a side note, I'm playing catch up. The last About Last Month that I documented was April of this year. By default, my go-to method for creating a title on my journal card is using the draw or the write function. Both those words are used interchangeably and essentially mean the same thing. I'm using a pen to draw or write the title. And to do this, I also prefer to choose a font that is bold, that creates an outline, so that later on when I create the layout, actually cut the paper, I can color in the title using alcohol markers. So right now I'm working on the subtitle. It's actually going to be part of the title, but I'm using the warp function. It's in the toolbar at the top of the canvas in Cricut Design Space. I'm using that in combination with the wavy banner from the Shapes panel to create the subtitle. They'll be attached together and then placed over top of the word "yay." Next, I began thinking about embellishing my journal card. Using the image library right in Cricut Design Space, I searched for butterflies and I chose a few that I thought looked simple enough to convert to a draw image. Believe it or not, I have a good reason for doing this. Over time, I've learned that using my Cricut to cut shapes or images that are quite small, and especially ones that are intricate, never works out. The cut always ends up wasting more paper and time than it is to just convert the image to draw. Use offset to create a shadow, attach that together, and then cut the entire piece. Fun fact, the color palette that I use in my layout often happens by accident. When you click on the operations drop-down menu at the top of the toolbar in Cricut Design Space, a text box will appear with colors in it. The colors that were in the first row just happen to be the color of the images that I chose from the image library in Cricut Design Space. All of them together were the inspiration for the color palette for my layout. Now that I had some direction in terms of what colors I plan to be using in this layout, I took a break from designing in Cricut Design Space to dive into my stash and find pattern papers that would closely match that color palette. Once I've settled on a mix of pattern papers that I think works well together, I head back to Cricut Design Space, specifically to the image library, and look for a pattern that resembles a pattern that's in the main pattern paper that I want to use, and I replicate that in Cricut Design Space. So what that means is I will change the colors of the image. In this case, it's a daisy pattern to resemble the colors that are in the pattern paper that I've chosen. So in this case, it's white, yellow, and green for the leaves, while the base of the pattern paper is more pinkish in tone than it is peach. Oh, and by the way, the pattern paper that I settled on is from Simple Stories. I think the simplest way to pull in pattern papers into my pocket page layouts, especially when I'm creating them using my Cricut, is to cluster the pattern papers, the embellishments, the title, all in one spot. So in this case, it's at the top of a 3x4-inch journal card. The bottom of the journal card will be left for the journaling. And in a little twist of fate, I decided to replicate or duplicate the pink background of the pattern paper and make a smaller strip and put that down at the bottom of the 3x4-inch journal card. On top of that, I will cluster a couple more butterflies that are going to be drawn and then cut, and then the journaling will fit in between the top and the bottom of that journal card. The last step in designing a layout in Cricut Design Space is always the journaling. I usually just write a few lines to summarize the month. I will group them together, align them so that they are straight from left to right, and then attach that to the journal card. If you enjoyed my process video today, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bye guys.